Hey, it's MK, and I am back with another Follow a Sketch February, and today I am doing day 8. I know I'm a day behind, but I'm actually just picking and choosing what sketches I want for Follow a Sketch February because of the fact that I need a couple hole fillers, or gap fillers, I should say, in between all of the days that I have assignments. So anyways, I picked out these two thickers in order to create my title, which is basically just what this tank is called. I also have a few Tim Holtz little stencil bits, but they're actually cardboard or something like that. It's kind of cool, really. I have some border strips, which are actually like branding strips from companies, 2 different companies, as well as a wooden border strip that looks like a chain link. I have 2 gears that are by the Stamperia little booklet that I received in a kit. And then the last thing that I'm going to add to this page, besides a couple 6x6s that are from Stampin' Up! Years ago, is this Victory paper by Close to My Heart. It says it's a workshop, but seriously, this was just the leftovers that I purchased off of a friend. And I have some cardstock and some pattern paper. Now, I've used up most of this pattern paper, and all that I have left is mostly cardstock. And then the 3 pattern papers, which happen to be one piece of camo and then 2 identical pieces of paper, which is the brown and the blue. Which I don't understand, or I don't realize that until after I do the flip thing, but it's okay. I really wanted to use this camouflage, and that's why I pulled it out to begin with. So anyways, after I decided which papers that I really wanted to work with, I went with the camo and this blue and the cream paper. But after I'm done cutting out my blue strips, I flip them over and decide that I need to use this brown because it is absolutely gorgeous with the camouflage. It just makes a statement, seriously. And then instead of doing one banner going across my my large panel, I'm actually going to do the 3 border strips that I have picked out. Sorry about that. And then I'm just going to add these little gears just for something. This layout was fantabulously plain, and I absolutely loved it, and everything just went together, seriously, with how this layout went. However, I thought it was so plain that I did need to do something on the background, and so I just decided to add a teeny tiny little bit of mixed media. Now, when I say little bit, and it does look like it's a lot on there, by the time I add all of my papers and everything back on it, you're not even going to notice that there's hardly any mixed media. But the mixed media is actually going to replace the 3 little dots that are at the top and the bottom of the layout. It's just kind of sort of saving a step, basically. Or I've been really lazy. I haven't used enamel dots in like forever. I should use those. But anyways, by the time that I put down my strips, which are a lot more wider apart, spread apart than what's in the sketch, and then by the time that I put my panel down, you're not hardly going to see the mixed media at all. Now, the last thing I'm going to do, because again, it just looks too plain, I don't know what's wrong with this layout, I'm going to take my sponge and ink the edges up. And what I do is I take my sponge and I kind of do a swirling motion, but I don't just go in one direction. I go in one direction for a little bit, and then I switch it up for a little bit more in the opposite direction, and then back to the original direction, if that makes any sense. And then after that, I'm going to work from the top down because I want to make sure that where that wooden border is going to go is exactly where I want it, because I have to use liquid glue on that. Now, everything else, when I use the ATG, as long as I don't put pressure on it, it's kind of sort of temporary until I put pressure on. So I kind of love that, but when I put liquid glue on this wooden piece, it is there for life. It is not going anywhere unless I want to ruin my entire project that I've got going on. So I wanted to just make sure that that wooden piece does get placed. Now, when I created that wooden piece, I have to tell you guys that I made it 12 inches, not realizing that that's why most manufacturers make their stickers at like 11 3/4, is because of the fact that they they fall off the page, and that's what mine is doing. But mine's going to be falling up the page, and so that's where the opening of the page protector is. So I'm not real too worried about it. Real too worried. Yep. Okay. So then I went ahead and I put a fun foam behind. I finally went and picked some up. Yay! Went and put some fun foam behind my photos, so that way they was raised up along with the wooden piece, that they are kind of overlapping. And then I'm just going to take some vellum that I had as a scrap and put it behind my Tim Holtz stencils. That way the background is kind of not as bold within the stencil as I wanted it, but I didn't want to completely cover it up. I didn't want to back the stencils. I kind of wanted them to look like the stencils, because back in the day, when my dad used to be in the armory, I remembered lots and lots of bins with these stencils in them because they label everything. I mean, the Army labels, seriously, everything. Everything has a number. Everything has an assignment. Everything has a name. It is just absolutely ridiculous. And so they had stencils this small all the way to the big. But anyways, that is how quick this layout came together. I added a little bit more of the walnut stain splatter on top of everything, so that way it kind of looks dimensional. And that's it, you guys. I am not adding anything else to this layout. Now, I do have the make and model as my title of this tank. The make is an M47, and then the model is the TM9, which is a 718A. I will go into that like never, because I don't know very much about it except for the label that I took a picture of. You guys, seriously, I don't know a whole lot about this except for the fact that it was German built and used in World War II, and that is it. All right, I want to thank you all so very much for joining me today. Please be sure to check out everyone else that is following along with Follow a Sketch February. It is a Facebook group. It is not a YouTube hop. So everything is over on Facebook at Scrapping Reflections Facebook group. And what I have linked here is the album. So it's not actually the group, which you have to kind of click out of the album to get to the group, if that makes any sense. But the link takes you straight to the album, so that way you don't have to work through the feed and try to figure out where all the sketches are. You can see all the sketches, and then you click on the sketch, and then in the comments is where you'll see everybody else's designs and things like that, and their take of the sketch. All right, thank you again, and I will check y'all later. Bye.